Hi, my name's Gladeana. Now, it's no wonder I'm a psychologist. Who the hell would give you a name like Gladeana? I mean, can you imagine what it is like? Okay, so you say, I'm Gladeana McMahon, I'm your psychologist. They go, glad what? Glad how? Not only that, but when you've got a Jewish mother, a Muslim father, and they send you to a Church of England high Anglican church school, this is exactly why you become a psychologist. Okay? It's incredibly simple, really. But the thing is that once you become a psychologist, you think to yourself, you are going to know how the world operates. You're going to have it licked. Boy, do you get disappointed. Do you get really disappointed? You learn an awful lot, yeah, you do. You learn a lot about how the brain operates, how your neurons fire, why people communicate the way that they do. And then you think to yourself, my life is going to be easy. Oh dear, that's the first disappointment. Because what you really realise at the end of the day is that you are you. So everybody in this room is who they are. And we are full of so many things, okay? So here I am, one of my things that I've done, because I'm an old girl now, so people say to me, you've done an awful lot with your life. In fact, I was chatting to a chap outside, and I've got a 26-page resume. It sounds really good. Yes, it does. The only thing is I'm old. So as long as you live, you will always do something. That's, of course, unless you sit at home and go, I kind of wish. Wouldn't it be nice if? Now, the first law is nobody's going to knock on your door. Okay, nobody's going to come over and go, do you know, I was just passing and I thought, what a nice man you are. I'm going to come and I'm just going to knock on your door and everything's going to be wonderful. You've got to get your bottom into gear. Because wherever you go, there you are. And we're all full of all sorts of things we carry. Messages. Now, psychologists often talk about messages, conditioning. All it means is whatever you're trained to do, you're going to do until somebody comes along and you go, oh, I could do it differently. I never thought about doing it differently. Maybe I could do this or I could do that. Okay. The other thing is, as I was having a fag outside, and I'm a health psychologist, by the way, so I was having this fag outside and I was thinking to myself, okay, so I said to Tim, I'll come along and do this Bavard bar. What the hell have I let myself in for, really? But the thing is that we are full of all this, right? I spend my whole time at Slimming World. In fact, I probably support Slimming World. I'm quite convinced about this. And you have these things called sins, okay? These are the nice things in life. But why the hell do we call them sins when they're really about choices? Now, we've all got choices in life. So there's nothing good and there's nothing bad. It's about what choices do we make. Now, I happen to have a passion about people. I love people. I love the fact that we're all absolutely barking and it's wonderful. And we are, aren't we? Because if you think about the things that we do, okay, if you think about the things that we do them because we don't think about them. So there I was one day with my friend, okay, and this is a Slimming World thing. You go, right, we're out there, new coffee shop, you've got to try a new coffee shop, you have to do that. So you go in and you're eyeing up the cakes, as you do. You're eyeing up these cakes, and then you say, could I have a skimmed milk latte? And what do? They go, oh, we ain't got any skimmed milk, it's only semi-skimmed. Oh my God, it's semi-skimmed! How am I going to cope? So there I am, chocolate eclair in one hand, and I'm worried about the fact that I've got semi-skimmed milk and not skimmed milk. So what do? I go, oh, we can't eat here. We'll have to go somewhere else and do that. And that's because we are full of all this stuff. But you know what's wonderful about that is, and my talk is, wherever you go, there you are. Because you can't hide from yourself. You can hide from other people. You can put on a smile. You can do all sorts of things. But what you can't do is hide from yourself. Because you know what happens, don't you? You get home at night, everybody's gone. So there we are. We'll set the scene. I'm actually doing drama here, so if I'm setting the scene a bit too much, it's because I'm trying. Okay, so you get home, and there it is, and it's all gone quiet, and so you think to yourself, I'm on my own now. Oh, and then the demons come out. And have you noticed how they come out at night? Have you noticed how big they get? You know, it's like when you're a kid and you get those shadows on the wall, and at night suddenly they become the big monster, and in the morning it's only really your dressing gown on the end of the hook or something. And that's because in our heads we carry all these messages about who we are, how we should be, what we should do, how we should relate to people. So that's where I kind of come in with the training I've got, because I'm supposed to help you to sort yourself out. Now half the time I wonder how the hell I'm doing that, because I can't sort myself out, let alone sorting anybody else out, because you have to understand all psychologists are nuts. As long as you get that, you will know that we can help other people. Because it's only the insane that know how the insane work. It's a very simple thing, okay? And it's about learning to understand those things about us that, yes, make us unique, because we are all unique. Every single person in this room has talent. Most of us go, oh, I've got no talent at all, but we do have talent. But we don't recognise it. And we spend most of our time thinking about the things we can't do, not the things we can do. And we don't take the time out of our life to think to ourselves, have I got a life, actually? So I'm going to tell you a story, okay? And my story goes like this. And I'm now at the age where I'm actually having fun. Yes, it's great. You know, I've left the career, so that's behind me now. And it was great while it lasted, and I'm not going to knock it. You know, I had a great time and I loved every minute of it. But the question is, was I living my life? Then I came to Eastbourne. It's supposed to be where everybody retires, and it's supposed to be God's waiting room. And I'm in that age bracket now. You know when you have to put, why is it they only just go 50 plus? Have you noticed that? It's just 50 plus. I suppose that's a good thing. But anyway, so it's all about being 50 plus, and you think to yourself, you become part of the invisible generation when you get to 50 plus. But it's also a part of how do you live your life. So people say, you don't look your age. Well, I learned that off my mum. If you tell everyone you're 10 years older than you are, they go, oh, you are amazing. Okay, and it works all the time. So one of the things that you have to do is to look at who you are. So who am I today? I'm not who I was 20 years ago, okay? I don't know who I'm going to become. But how do I make the most from today? And every single person in this room will have some point in their life, you know, where they'll go, who am I? What am I? Where am I going? Okay? Now for me, it's very simple. If I don't have sat-nav, I won't get anywhere. No, you think that's a joke. I did 150 miles trying to get out of Scotland. And this was before sat-nav happened, okay? I only knew I was wrong when I saw water and hills, and I thought, I'm sure that's not the way to London. But anyway, so I think what we have to do is to say, how do I maximise my talent? Because everybody has a talent. And I will never, ever let a client of mine, and believe you me, these boots come with a whip, okay? I will never, ever let a client of mine think that they cannot be the best they can be. Because everybody can be great. Everybody has something in them which is amazing and wonderful. But most of the time, we actually are the worst enemies we can be to ourselves. You know, I bet when you are beating yourself up about something, if it were your friend who was coming along and saying to you, oh, I made such an error the other night, you'd be going, it's all right, sweetheart, don't worry about it. We've all done it. We've all been there. But you have got it out on yourself. Now, it's all great wanting to be better than you are, but you kind of have to know yourself a lot. And that means celebrating your strengths, and when you find an area of development, it means looking at those things and saying, not, isn't this bad of me, but hey, what a fantastic opportunity I've got. I can actually be better than I am. I could actually learn something. I could actually find a better way to communicate. Because in this world, communication is the biggest thing. Nobody lives in isolation. I do worry about technology because I think we're going to have a generation who live in isolation. I do, and it's going to be terribly sad. But actually, all of us communicate, whether it's walking down the street and smiling. Now, I've come from London, okay? You never smile at anyone in London. Whoa. Smile at people in London, they think you're either a bit cuckoo or you're after something, okay? I come to Eastbourne, and it's wonderful here because you can go down the street, you can talk to people, you can relate to people, and they are, it's just a wonderful experience because human beings are meant to be connected. But if I'm going to be connected to other people, whether it's friends, partners or potential partners, whatever, we've got to have some honesty and we've got to communicate. But before I can communicate, I've got to know who I am. Who I am now, who I was yesterday, who I might be tomorrow. But I've got to be able to communicate that. And one of the biggest things is we all con ourselves. Okay, we all con ourselves in a really big way. And just a few little tips, if you like, or tricks, is that we all think we're telepathic. Every person in this room thinks they're telepathic. Why do I know that? Because we make assumptions, and the minute we make assumptions about a situation, other people or whatever, what happens? It's like a little script in your head. And believe you me, we could all be great EastEnders script writers, and that is a soap to do suicide by, because it is an absolute nightmare. Do you ever watch EastEnders, any of you who do, and go, oh, it was such a lovely story, I was moved in such a wonderful way. Oh. No, you go, where is the kitchen knife? I will get that out now. But we write scripts in our head, and those scripts stop us from being authentic. And authentic is, we muck up. Of course we do. We put our foot in our mouth. We sometimes, don't always do the best things for ourselves. But if you have a genuine heart, and that's what I do, I believe everybody is amazing. That's what I do genuinely believe. Because if there was an apocalypse tomorrow, and my friends say, oh, she's on about the bloody apocalypse again, well, I do like the Day of the Walking Dead and all that stuff, but, it's kind of like, if there was, what would we have left? We'd have each other, wouldn't we? That's all we'd have. We could be, now I'm going to set the seal, this is the acting bit coming out now, okay? Just try and be kind. So it goes like this, supposing it was printers and the world had come to an end. And this is it. We are the last remaining people on this planet. Okay? What would we do? Well, some of us would go to the bar, of course. But, that's just part of it. So, but we would, wouldn't we? We'd want to connect with each other because we'd need each other to survive. Now, surviving isn't just about having warmth and food and being here. It's about human connection. And that is what we offer. Because at the end of the day, I'm just looking at my timing because I can talk for England and therefore I've got to make sure I do this for Tim. Yeah, okay. So, what happens is, at the end of the day, we would only have each other. So to have each other, we have to be honest. And honesty, as they say, starts at home. How many of us in this room actually lie to ourselves? And we do it all the time. We do it via this thing called assumptions that we make. I see this in couples counselling all the time. Okay, so what happens is, people will come in and they sit there, and it's like, yes, we really want to save this relationship. And you look at them and sometimes you think, oh, just don't bother. And other times, you think to yourself, yes, we can do something here. And the conversation goes like this. So, okay, tell me a little bit about your story. Well, he does this, he does that, he does the other. Did you ever actually talk about that? No, he should know. Why should he know? People are brought up in so many different environments that what's normal to me might not be normal to you. And if I don't talk to you, how the heck am I supposed to know this? You know, if any of you can find me a telepathy course, please email me, because I'd love to do it, okay? I really would. It would make life so much easier. But it don't work like that. Because it reminds me, for example, can you think about the first time when you were a child, you did a thing a certain way, and you went to someone else's house? So in my family, we sat round a table to eat. It was important to sit round a table to eat. One day I went to my friend's house, and what happened? I was put in front of the TV with my friend. We had trays. Ooh! And we sat there, and I thought, oh, I never thought you could have your tea in front of the TV, because that's the sort of thing. It sounds a very simple thing, but it's the first time you start to realise there's another way of doing things. And I think that's really important. So, at the end of the day, I've got one more thing. Who would like a £10 note? Thank God somebody did it. Right. And you know something? If you don't take your opportunities, don't go home crying.
Thank you very much, Gladeana. Fantastic talk. So does anybody have any questions for Gladeana about being where you are? Yes, Paul.
You've got £50 note.
Any questions for Gladeana and being where you are, or are we all? It is getting late. It's late for Eastbourne. Boots.
Would you say a bucket list is important?
I think an opportunity list and a want list is important. Yeah, I do. You know, because I think that at the end of the day, you get one shot. And we heard Kate, and I think they're doing a brilliant job about how you leave. But don't you want to have the best journey getting to there? And if you do, how about a list of wants? How about a list of what I would like to do? So I've come to Eastbourne, for example, and I'm learning to be a thespian. I have to be so careful how I say that, but I'm learning to be a thespian. I'm doing my singing here. I've set up a group here where we go out and have an awful lot of fun. And that's because that's part of my want list now. And I think we all need a want list.
How do you stop any list just becoming a list of things that you'll never actually achieve? You go, oh my God, I've got all these things I should be doing and haven't done them.
Okay, because that is a list of destruction, not a list of construction. So, for example, I'm sure that if I said to people in this room, tell me, okay, 20 things about yourself that are amazing, you'd struggle to get 5 or 6, because that's what happens. If I said, tell me 20 things you could be better at, you'd come up with 150. So the list of destruction is, it's not a list of being able to say, here I am now, and just like going to the gym or losing weight, it ain't going to happen overnight. So you say, right, in the next 3 months, what's realistic? Because realism, or being realistic, is really important. So you take that for the next 3 months. It narrows it down. At the end of 3 months, you review that. What have I achieved? What could I have done differently? Oh, great, tick, tick. Now I'll move to the next 3 months. That's constructive as opposed to destructive.
Brilliant. Any final questions for Gladeana? Yes, sorry, hand, yeah.
It's not a question, it's a statement again, same as earlier. So it popped up on my Facebook post earlier, and I just want to see if it's an appropriate time to share it. So it says, the key to life is to die young as late as possible.
But that's a really good one, because, you know, youth is not about, you know, whether your knees are as good as they were a few years ago. It's a mental capacity. It's about stretching yourself. It's about finding opportunity. It's about enjoying life. It's about laughing. Do you know that you cannot be physiologically stressed when you laugh? That is a fact. You can't be. So keep laughing is what I say.
And on that, oh yes, final question.
Just to say, I'm putting out a call out for somebody, because we haven't got time to do this now, to give a talk on how we help our children to be self-confident and resilient and full of self-esteem in order to be able to do this, what you're talking about.
There we are.
So if anybody knows anybody who can give that talk, that would be great.
Fantastic.